Hello, welcome back to Our Twisted Kitchen. This is just the intro, so we'll get into the actual video here in a minute, but I wanted to do a quick intro video just like I did in the last video, just to kind of give you guys a little bit more insight on what we're doing in this episode, just to give you guys a little bit more insight on what we're doing in this video, some of my thoughts going into the second week of being on a keto vegan diet, and the recipes that I'm making. So first things first, this is called a vegan keto challenge, and a challenge it is. I was just actually telling my mom that this is the first thing that I have done for Our Twisted Kitchen that has completely taken over my everyday life outside of editing and filming and all that kind of stuff. Most of the time my food choices are up to me, which they still are technically, but under the vegan keto realm things are very much restrictive. It's just a kind of a thing that I've been struggling with myself because we made brownies. I want to eat those. I just moved in with my mom, so I want to be able to show her a lot of different vegan options, and it's been difficult to do that because all I can eat is keto food. It's great in the terms of it being mostly whole foods. I do like that idea of it, and it's allowing me to become more conscious of my health. The first one being that I drank too much coffee, and the second thing being that I'm just not consuming enough whole foods. It's really interesting just to kind of see, even through the first 2 weeks, how things are going. There is a chance that I may not be able to continue this going forward just because it's straining my budget. I have been buying too much food, so that may be on me, but it's difficult to really know for sure how much to buy in a lot of these cases. So I just want to make sure that everything gets optimized and I don't throw more food out than I need to, because I don't like wasting food. So that's another reason why, and I will give you guys a small update maybe on Sunday to let you know how things are going. That's usually when I go grocery shopping, so by Sunday I should know whether or not I want to keep doing this, and you will hear from me on Sunday. With that being said, I will be tracking my macros in this video, so keep an eye out for those. I should be mentioning those, and if I don't, they will be at the bottom of the screen down here. So those will be up for you to see and to understand what I'm getting in, and how it's affecting my moods and everything else. I did want to say that I have Will Taylor. He is a nutrition specialist. He also does life coaching and fitness training, so if you're interested in contacting him for any of those purposes, you can check out his information in the description below. You can also like, comment, and subscribe because you love me, and I appreciate every single one of you. I know there have been a couple of you that have mentioned, hey, I don't like the fact that you're doing this just because vegan keto diet is not the greatest for you, or the keto diet in general is not that great for you. I appreciate those of you who are concerned, and I do hear you. I have been listening to my body and understanding what's going on. So with that being said, I'm sure there's more, but I just did not write all of it down. But with that being said, we're going to hop into week 2. Hey, it's week 2 of Vegan Keto Challenge. I did cheat this weekend, so unfortunately, I had some carbs. As you can see here, I went out to lunch with a friend, so sorry, but thankfully the good news is keto only takes about 5 to 7 days to kick in. I will be technically starting over, but I think I'm coming from a more informed place now, so I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure I do not quote-unquote cheat this week. So I have my grocery list here of things I have to buy. It's gonna be a completely different set of meals this week, so I'm super excited. I will be counting my macros this week as well, so we're gonna check that out, make sure everything goes well. It's week 2 of the Vegan Keto Challenge, so let's get going. All right, friends, we are out of the store now. That whole bag is all mine, so I will do an in-depth look at what I bought when we get home.
So there is a little bit of every meal represented in here. We have the beefless crumbles, which go with dinner. We have the almond butter, which goes with lunch and breakfast. And then we also have the almond flour, which goes with breakfast as well.
Good morning. So we have a little bit more of a production setup than we did last week for breakfast, but today we are going to be making some keto pancakes. It's now Tuesday. Made these yesterday, and I did not add in the baking powder, so I want to actually make these the right way this time and see how they look. They were pretty good yesterday, but I want to see how they are when they're made the way they should be. And in case you're wondering, the macros for this meal are right across the board here. A lot different than I expected, but I guess we'll just kind of have to go with it and see if we have to modify anything as the week goes on. We're gonna make some almond flour pancakes, and I'm super excited to get into it. I'm gonna put some almond butter on top for a little bit extra protein, and then enjoy them because they're delicious. So let's get right into making breakfast.
This is actually one of the best meals I've had so far. So we have 1 1/4 cup almond flour, and then 1/2 cup cornstarch, and 2 tablespoons of baking powder. And the recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of stevia, but I didn't want it that sweet. And then I just go ahead and set that aside for now so we get the wet ingredients, which include half cup applesauce, 2 tablespoons of coconut oil melted, which obviously not here, a half cup almond milk, and you just mix that up, and then you'll mix the two together, and you'll have pancakes. So if you're not aware, Teflon is not good for you, so I put a Teflon-free pan in the description below. So now we're just going to make our pancakes. We just go ahead and put in 1/4 cup of the mixture and then throw that onto a pan and let it cook.
So we finally have 3 pancakes here. I did put some almond butter on each one of them, and they are a lot bigger than they were on Monday, so I'm glad that I kind of tested it out a little bit because I forgot the baking powder the first time. So I definitely added it in today, and I think that helps a lot with the size of them, but let's see how it does with the flavor. Mm-hmm. This is a solid meal right here, friends. The batter actually makes 6, so I'm going to use the other 3 probably for tomorrow. I don't know if the serving size is 1 or 3 or 2. I always have 3, so I'm just kind of going with it. Still really amazing though. Even if you're not following a keto diet, I highly recommend trying these out. Probably maple syrup would help too, but we're good. Alright, so this week for lunch I'm going to be having shirataki noodles with an almond butter sauce. I also have sesame oil in here to make it a little bit more nutty. I'm really excited to get it started. I'm going to show you how to make it real quick, and then I will show you a first impression when I eat it for lunch. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
So I do believe I needed more, but I just put 1 tablespoon of olive oil and then 3 cloves of garlic and 1/2 onion. So I moved it all into the middle just to move it back out again. I'm not really sure what I was thinking there, but I did end up buying frozen broccoli for this. You could buy 3 heads of broccoli if you wanted to. I also used a bag of cabbage, and you could do a half a head if you wanted to. This is also my first time trying out these shirataki noodles, so let's see. I did end up adding another bag of them, but I don't necessarily know that that's necessary. I just wanted more noodle than I wanted vegetables. So from here we do 4 tablespoons of almond butter, which may seem excessive, but believe me, you need all of them, and I wouldn't have been upset if I needed to use more, to be honest with you. So from here we're just going to do 3 tablespoons of sesame oil, and then we also have some liquid aminos coming up, and we have 3 teaspoons of that.
So I just finished up lunch and I wasn't super impressed with the flavor of it. I thought that the almond butter was gonna kind of show through a little bit more. It was pretty filling and it was a big bowl, so I think I'll be satiated through to dinner. But I do have a little snack. I just got some walnuts and some sliced almonds set aside for after work because I have some stuff I have to do, so it's gonna be a while till I eat dinner. And that's the one downfall that I've noticed with meal prepping anyways, or with these meals in general, is a lot of the snacks are requiring a lot of work. So unless I'm sitting in the kitchen all day long cooking, making food, I'm not gonna be able to do all of that. So that's why I just kind of set aside a small little snack of nuts just so I have something to keep me satisfied for a couple hours after work. But yeah, with the lunch for sure, could use a little more flavor, and that could just be the way I made it. I'm not really sure, but that almond butter, it adds a good little crunch to it because I have the crunchy almond butter. I'm excited to see what dinner has to bring because it's a vegan walnut chili. So we're gonna make that tonight, and then hopefully that should keep us satisfied through the week. That's lunch. We're moving on to dinner.
So keep in mind that this meal is doubled for the calorie intake, but let me know if you see anything off in this video. Just let me know by commenting in the comment section below. Yep, so we threw olive oil and celery and garlic into the pan along with some two teaspoons of cinnamon and 2 teaspoons of chili powder and then 4 teaspoons of cumin and what's next? Let's see here. Paprika. We also have 2 teaspoons of that. And we mix all of that up into a beautiful little sauce. I don't know. And then we have green bell peppers, which I put 3 in there, 3 zucchini as well, and 16 ounces of shredded mushrooms. Next up we have 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, which is pretty cheap. You can buy that pretty much anywhere. Then we have 1 can of diced tomatoes and 3 cups of water and 1/2 cup of coconut milk and 2 cups of walnuts. And then we have 3 cups of soy meat crumbles, and I truly think I could have done just the walnuts or just the soy meat crumbles or just the mushrooms because having all 3 of them kind of was a little bit too much. Again, let me know in the comments section below if you see absolutely anything wrong with the way that this meal was prepared, and I will tell you as soon as you give me your guesses.
Okay, so this dinner is not ready yet, and I am kind of disappointed by how long it took because it's like 8:30 now, and I would like to sit down, but I've been sitting here, or standing here rather, in the kitchen all night making dinner, so it does take some time. Granted, this recipe is doubled for the calorie intake. The calorie intake was pretty low on this, so Professor Illwill, he is the guy that is tracking all of this nutrition and everything for me. He doubled the recipe so that I could reach 700 calories for this meal. So that could be one reason why, but there's just a lot in there and it's not even warm yet. So I tried it getting ready to eat some and then it was cold. So again, it's gonna take a lot of time, especially if you double the recipe. So keep that in mind. Maybe bring along a helper with you. Dinner is finally ready and it's very soupy. I know it's supposed to be chili, but there's just too much water in here and I have to live with that. So I actually have some nutritional yeast here as well to throw on top because I don't want to eat this by itself. You could also do vegan cheese actually too if you wanted, but I want to do this because I like how it tastes. I wish I had some crackers, I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna get through it. This is dinner. I'm actually kind of nervous about eating it the rest of the week because it's only gonna get soupier. We will see what happens. But for now, this is week 2.